Commissioner Gordon, Bane has escaped.
Strength is misunderstood as aggression or dominance, yet the real test is endurance under invisible pressure. Carrying this burden means waking up when no one is watching and choosing not to abandon yourself. It means staying consistent when progress refuses to announce itself. The load presses hardest in silence because silence removes performance. There is no audience to impress, no reassurance coming from outside. Only you and the question of whether you will continue. Many mistake this stage for stagnation. They think nothing is happening because nothing is celebrated. In truth, this is where alignment is forged. Alignment hurts because it removes excuses. When everything depends on you, there is nowhere to hide from your own standards. That friction builds something dense and unshakable. Density gives weight meaning. Without density, weight collapses posture. With it, posture improves. You stand taller not because the load disappeared, but because your structure adapted. The weight teaches you timing. Rush and you strain. Hesitate and it digs deeper. Move with patience and the pressure distributes evenly. This is why wisdom grows slowly. The mind wants relief. Relief seeks shortcuts. Shortcuts collapse under load. Sustainable movement accepts discomfort as feedback rather than threat. Feedback refines technique. Technique preserves energy. Energy allows longevity. Longevity outperforms bursts of intensity every time. Carrying something meaningful reshapes how you think about effort. You stop asking how to remove difficulty and start asking how to move through it efficiently. That shift changes everything. You begin to conserve emotion. Emotional waste drains strength faster than physical work. Calm becomes tactical. Stillness becomes productive. Each step forward feels deliberate, not desperate. The burden remains, yet it stops feeling hostile. It feels instructional. This load also teaches restraint. Not every urge deserves expression. Not every thought deserves belief. Under weight, unnecessary movement costs more. You learn to strip behavior down to essentials. That minimalism sharpens focus. Focus multiplies output without increasing strain. This is how quiet people build overwhelming capacity. They do not waste energy explaining themselves. Explanation is expensive. Results speak cheaply. Carrying this weight trains you to value results over recognition. Recognition fades quickly. Capacity stays. Capacity attracts opportunity. Opportunity rewards readiness. Readiness is built here under pressure unseen. Those who drop the load early never reach this stage. They confuse relief with freedom and wonder later why life feels hollow. Hollow lives feel light but collapse easily. The burden exposes relationships. Some will encourage you to put it down, not out of malice but discomfort. Your endurance reflects their avoidance. Others will misunderstand your silence as distance. Silence is simply focus redirected inward. You learn discernment. Not every voice deserves influence. Influence must be earned through alignment, not proximity. This discernment is lonely at first. Loneliness is another layer of the weight, yet loneliness clarifies intention. Without constant input, your internal compass strengthens. You begin to trust your judgment because it has been tested repeatedly under load. Trust removes hesitation. Hesitation wastes time. Time is the true currency this burden trains you to respect. There will be moments when the weight feels unfair. You will notice others moving faster with less effort, seemingly unburdened. Comparison intensifies pressure because it distorts reality. You do not see what they carry later. You only see what they carry now. Everyone pays. The timing differs. Some choose to pay early. Some defer until interest compounds. Carrying this now reduces future cost. That understanding stabilizes resolve. Resolve does not shout, it settles. Settled resolve withstands storms. Storms test structure. Weak structures fail dramatically. Strong ones sway and remain standing. Remaining standing becomes your standard. Over time, the load reshapes identity. You stop defining yourself by emotion and start defining yourself by behavior. Behavior under pressure reveals truth faster than reflection ever could. Reflection can lie, action cannot. Each day you carry this and still move forward. Your nervous system learns reliability. Reliability calms fear. Fear shrinks when predictability rises. Predictability comes from routine executed under strain. This is how discipline stops feeling forced and starts feeling natural. Natural does not mean easy. It means integrated. Integration reduces internal conflict. Less conflict frees energy. Free energy increases capacity further. The cycle reinforces itself. Eventually, the burden becomes familiar. Familiar does not mean light. It means known. Known loads are easier to balance. Balance prevents injury. Injury comes from resistance, not from weight itself. Acceptance distributes force. This is a physical truth mirrored psychologically. When you stop resenting the burden, it stops grinding you down. It still demands effort, but effort no longer feels like suffering. It feels like purpose enacted physically. Purpose gives pain direction. Direction transforms pain into progress. The quiet confidence that emerges here cannot be imitated. It is not bravado. It is certainty built through repetition. Repetition under load etches belief into the nervous system. Belief steadies posture. Steady posture communicates capability without words. Others feel it before they understand it. You stop seeking approval because approval adds nothing to capacity. Capacity adds everything to outcomes. Outcomes accumulate quietly until they can no longer be ignored. Pressure changes a man the moment someone depends on him. The body responds fast when responsibility becomes real. Focus sharpens. Sleep deepens. Distraction loses its pull. This is not motivation. This is biology switching modes. When another person relies on you, the nervous system stops treating life like a rehearsal. It treats it like a duty. Decisions matter more. Time matters more. Energy is no longer wasted on trivial urges. You feel heavier, but you also feel clearer. That clarity is not calm comfort. It is readiness. Readiness brings direction. Direction removes hesitation. When you carry responsibility, your mind organizes itself around protection and delivery. You wake up thinking about outcomes instead of feelings. You stop asking how you feel and start asking what must be done. This is why performance rises under obligation. The system knows failure now has consequences beyond ego. That awareness pulls dormant strength forward. You do not become different through affirmation. You become different because something real is at stake. Something changes in how effort feels once others count on you. Work stops being optional. Optional tasks invite delay. Required tasks demand action. That demand activates long-term focus. Focus stretches beyond the day and into weeks and months. You plan ahead without forcing it. You stop chasing stimulation because stimulation wastes capacity. Capacity becomes valuable when it is needed by someone else. This is why responsibility increases discipline without speeches or reminders. The body does the work for you. Testosterone does not rise from comfort. It rises from pressure that matters, not chaos, not panic. Clean responsibility. When you are trusted with weight, your posture changes. You stand differently. You speak less. You act faster. That is not personality. That is adaptation. The man who carries weight stops drifting because drift risks others. Risk wakes the system up. Dependence exposes who you are very quickly. When someone needs you, excuses lose credibility. You cannot lie to yourself when outcomes affect more than pride. This forces honesty. Honest assessment leads to improvement. Improvement builds confidence that lasts because it is earned. That confidence is quiet. It does not need attention. It comes from knowing you showed up when it counted. The mind records those moments. Each one adds evidence that you are reliable. Reliability becomes identity. Identity shapes future behavior. The cycle strengthens itself. Men without responsibility often feel restless because their energy has nowhere to go. Energy without direction becomes noise. Noise leads to distraction. Distraction drains strength. Responsibility channels energy into output. Output creates progress. Progress stabilizes the mind. There is a reason aimless men feel tired without doing much. Their systems are idle but overstimulated. Carrying weight reverses that. You become tired from doing meaningful work, not from scrolling or worrying. That type of tiredness recovers faster. Sleep becomes efficient because the brain knows effort was justified. Rest feels deserved. Deserved rest restores faster. This loop increases resilience. You can take more hits and recover quicker because your system trusts the purpose of strain. Purpose matters. Without it, effort feels pointless. With it, effort feels necessary. Necessary effort brings out strength that comfort never touches. Responsibility also removes indecision. When someone depends on you, delay feels dangerous. You act sooner. Early action reduces future pressure. Reduced pressure keeps the system steady. Steady systems last longer. You stop overthinking because overthinking risks failure. Clarity replaces rumination. This is not bravado, it is efficiency. The brain under responsibility cuts waste automatically. You do not need to fight temptation. Temptation loses appeal when duty is present. That is how habits change without struggle. Structure replaces willpower. Structure holds when emotion fluctuates. Men often search for purpose in ideas. Purpose arrives faster through obligation. When others rely on you, meaning is assigned immediately. You are needed. Need sharpens attention. Attention increases output. Output reinforces value. Value builds self-respect. Self-respect stabilizes behavior. This chain does not require inspiration. It requires acceptance of weight. Accepting weight activates dormant systems built for protection and provision. These systems do not respond to comfort. They respond to demand. There is fear at first. Fear of failing those who depend on you. That fear is useful. It keeps you alert. Alertness improves performance. Over time, fear turns into confidence because you survive the test. Surviving teaches the body that pressure can be handled. The next challenge feels smaller. Others notice later. You notice sooner. You feel grounded. Grounded men do not seek validation. They seek completion. Responsibility also removes the option to quit mentally. When quitting affects others, the mind stops entertaining it. This increases endurance. Endurance builds grit. Grit sustains effort long after motivation fades. Motivation is unreliable. Responsibility is constant. Constant pressure builds constant output. Constant output changes outcomes. Outcomes change identity. Identity attracts more responsibility. The cycle continues upward. Strength that stays asleep will not wake for comfort. It wakes for duty. Duty forces you to organize your life. You prioritize sleep. You manage time. You protect energy. These changes feel natural because the stakes are real. No one needs to convince you. The body aligns itself. This is why carrying weight matures a man faster than any lecture ever could. Complaining feels productive because it creates the illusion of release. The moment words leave your mouth, the body relaxes slightly as if something was solved. Nothing was solved. The work remains. The pressure remains. All that changed is energy leaked out without movement forward. That leak matters. Energy is fuel, and fuel wasted on noise is fuel not available for progress. When a man complains, the nervous system registers false closure. It thinks the problem was addressed, so urgency drops. Focus blurs. Momentum slows. Silence does the opposite. Silence keeps tension contained. Contained tension becomes drive. Drive turns into motion. Motion turns into progress. This is not about being emotionless. It is about being precise. Precision means knowing when speech helps and when it sabotages. Most strain does not need narration. It needs action. Quiet action builds capacity because nothing interrupts the feedback loop between effort and result. Over time, the body learns that pressure leads somewhere. That lesson builds endurance far better than venting ever could. Talking about the load often invites outside opinions. Opinions dilute clarity. Once multiple voices enter, the task becomes heavier than it started. You now carry the problem plus judgment, comparison, and doubt. Silence blocks that interference. When no one knows exactly what you are carrying, no one can reshape it for you. That preserves ownership. Ownership matters because it keeps decisions clean. Clean decisions reduce error. Reduced error saves time and energy. This is why men who move quietly appear steady under pressure. They are not immune to strain. They are insulated from distraction. Distraction is the real enemy of endurance. It pulls attention away from the next step. Silence keeps attention where it belongs. Attention placed correctly turns effort into progress without drama. Endurance grows when discomfort is met without commentary. Each time you feel pressure and choose to keep moving, the nervous system updates its expectations. It learns that strain is survivable. That learning reduces fear. Reduced fear improves performance. Performance reinforces confidence. Confidence built this way lasts because it was earned under load. Loud struggle often seeks validation. Quiet struggle seeks completion. Completion builds proof. Proof changes identity. Identity shapes future behavior. This loop strengthens silently. The man who announces his burden often looks for relief. The man who carries it looks for resolution. Resolution ends the cycle. Relief only pauses it. There is also discipline in choosing not to speak. Words can become an escape route. They let you circle the problem instead of entering it. Silence removes that escape. When there is nothing to say, there is only something to do. Doing grounds the mind. Grounded minds waste less energy on imagination. Imagination under stress exaggerates difficulty. Action under stress shrinks it. This is why tasks often feel smaller once you start. The weight was not in the work. It was in the hesitation. Silence cuts hesitation short. It forces engagement. Engagement builds tolerance. Tolerance increases capacity. Capacity makes future loads manageable. This progression cannot happen if energy is constantly spent explaining pain. Complaining also spreads fatigue. It transfers strain to others without reducing your own. That creates friction in relationships. Friction adds weight to everything else you carry. Silence prevents this spread. It keeps relationships clean and focused. When others see you moving without complaint, trust grows. Trust leads to support when it is actually needed. Support that arrives at the right moment helps. Support demanded too early weakens resolve. Timing matters. Silence protects timing. It ensures help is earned through effort, not requested through frustration. There is a calm that comes from not narrating your struggle. That calm is not passive. It is controlled. Controlled systems last longer. Lasting systems handle repeated stress better. Repeated stress handled well builds resilience. Resilience allows you to carry responsibility for long periods without collapse. Collapse usually comes from emotional leakage, not workload. By sealing leaks, you preserve strength. That preservation compounds daily. Days turn into months. Months turn into visible results. Results speak louder than explanation ever could. Silence also sharpens awareness. When you stop talking, you start noticing details. Details matter because they show where effort should be applied. Applied effort moves the needle. Random effort exhausts. Complaints often hide randomness. They signal that energy is scattered. Silence forces you to confront where your energy is actually going. That confrontation leads to adjustment. Adjustment improves efficiency. Efficiency lowers cost. Lower cost allows more work with the same resources. This is how quiet workers outlast louder ones. There is dignity in carrying weight without display. Dignity stabilizes the mind. A stable mind performs consistently. Consistency beats intensity over time. Intensity without consistency burns out. Consistency without noise compounds. Compounding creates distance between you and those who talk more than they move. That distance grows quietly until it is undeniable. At that point, words are unnecessary. The work has already spoken. Men who endure do not do so by shouting. They do it by managing their inner state. They accept that pressure is part of the path. They stop treating it as an enemy and start treating it as a signal that something meaningful is being built. Building requires load. Load requires silence to manage properly. Noise invites chaos. Silence invites order. Order turns weight into something that can be carried day after day. Disorder turns effort into punishment because energy leaks in every direction at once. When tasks pile without hierarchy, the mind treats all of them as emergencies, flooding the system with urgency that produces no progress. You feel crushed not because the load increased, but because nothing is aligned. Alignment is the hidden relief. When you arrange obligations into sequence, pressure stops attacking from all sides and begins applying force in one direction. Direction transforms weight into momentum. Momentum makes movement predictable. Predictability calms the nervous system and frees attention for execution. This is why organization is not cosmetic. It is structural. It changes how force travels through you. Chaos demands reaction. Order allows response. Reaction wastes strength through panic. Response channels effort through intention. The difference is felt immediately in breathing, posture, and decision speed. Once order is established, the same responsibilities feel lighter because friction has been reduced. Nothing was removed. Everything was positioned. Structure does not eliminate difficulty. It removes confusion. Confusion multiplies effort because the brain keeps switching contexts, reloading rules, and recalculating priorities. Each switch adds invisible resistance. When you impose order, transitions slow down and focus deepens. Deep focus prevents emotional spikes that sabotage endurance. Endurance grows when the mind trusts the system it is operating inside. Lower noise improves accuracy. Accuracy reduces rework. Rework is a silent killer of progress. It feels like effort but produces nothing. Organized effort produces forward motion even when results lag behind. Forward motion sustains morale without theatrics. You stop needing reassurance because the process itself proves reliability. Reliability anchors identity under strain. That anchoring prevents collapse when pressure increases. Order becomes a stabilizer rather than a cage. Planning is misunderstood as avoidance when done poorly. Done correctly, it is compression. You compress complexity into steps that can be executed without hesitation. Hesitation drains more energy than effort. When steps are clear, action becomes automatic. Automatic action preserves willpower. Preserved willpower extends your working window. Extended windows allow you to carry demanding loads longer than others expect. This advantage compounds quietly. There is no need to rush when the path is defined. Rushing introduces error. Error adds unnecessary mass to the burden. Reducing error reduces the sensation of being overwhelmed. You begin to experience pressure as firm guidance rather than threat. Guidance is easier to follow than chaos. The body prefers clarity. The mind performs better when it knows what comes next. Systems protect you on days when motivation disappears. Motivation is unreliable because it responds to mood. Systems respond to rules. Rules do not argue, they execute. When the environment is structured, behavior follows structure without debate. Debate is costly. It drains attention and delays action. Removing debate increases consistency. Consistency strengthens trust in self-direction. That trust prevents panic during setbacks. Setbacks are inevitable. Panic is optional. Organized individuals experience setbacks as data, not disasters. Data informs adjustment. Adjustment keeps momentum intact. Momentum sustains belief. Belief supports continued effort. The chain holds because order was established early. Cluttered lives produce cluttered thinking. When surroundings are disorganized, the brain treats every stimulus as potential priority. This constant scanning exhausts attention. Exhausted attention misjudges difficulty. Tasks feel heavier than they are. Clean structure narrows focus to what matters now. Narrow focus reduces perceived load. Reduced perception of load allows longer engagement. Longer engagement produces progress that compounds. Compounding progress eventually dwarfs initial strain. This is why order appears boring to outsiders. They confuse calm with lack of ambition. Calm is simply friction removed. Ambition expresses itself through sustained output, not agitation. There is discipline required to organize under pressure. Pressure tempts abandonment of structure in favor of frantic movement. Frantic movement feels productive, but usually creates more mess. Mess increases future effort. Choosing organization during stress feels counterintuitive at first. Yet that choice is what separates collapse from control.